Welcome back, folks, to Delivering More. I'm your host, Ben Alcar. We have a wonderful, wonderful Meet the Team for you today, for everyone today. I have a great individual here with me, folks. I guess I'm your co-host on the newsletter now. She's doing the driver spotlight. She's driver engagement. I have Sade here with me today. Sade, it's a beautiful afternoon. What's going on?
What's going on, Ben? It's already 2 o'clock already.
Yeah.
2 more hours.
Days flying by. Days always flying by around here. We're just here to get to know you a little bit more, right? Obviously, people are going to be seeing you in front of the camera a little bit more nowadays with the live newsletter. We just did the first one last night.
Yep.
And then obviously with the driver spotlights and things like that, you'll be in front of the camera a little bit more. So always a good time to let people get to know you a little bit more outside of just their driver engagement calls, right?
Got you. Right.
Cool.
Good
So we usually kind of start here. I got my baseline of questions. I just like to start, where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Born in Canton, right here. Grew up in Canton up until I was 19. Then I went and lived in Columbus, Ohio for about 7-8 years.
Okay. What area of Columbus were you in? I know it's like a people like you got like
is.
all kinds of areas. People just call one conglomerate of Columbus, but there's like townships all over the place,
It really is. So I stayed in the city of Columbus, but I stayed out east and I stayed up north.
Okay.
So a lot of people are familiar with Easton, which is the mall that's inside,
right.
outside. So yeah, around that area.
Okay. Were you a big shopper when you were there? Or?
I can't lie. I love shoes.
Okay.
I love shoes, earrings. That is my thing. Yep.
Nice. Okay. Easy enough. When did you make your way back up to Canton then?
This February, is it still? Yeah, February made 9 years.
9 years
since I've been back. Yep.
Okay, nice. What propelled you to go from Columbus and then back to Canton? Was it like family, job?
Yeah, family. I had to come back for family purposes. Not on good terms though. So
oh boy.
Yeah, so that's what made me come back to Columbus. So
back to Canton.
Back to Canton from Columbus.
Got you. Okay, and then you said Columbus was 19 when you moved down there, right?
Correct. I was 19, 20.
Your first job usually is a couple of years before that. Was it around it? When was your first job? What was it?
My first job was when I was 18. I actually worked in a nursing home, but I worked in their dietary department, so around food. That was my first job.
Giving them lunch every day?
So
what were we talking about?
I worked the dinner time. So from like 5 to 9, that's the time I worked. 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That was the time I worked because I was still in high school at the time.
Okay.
So I worked that shift, the dinner shift, and we just served them dinner. We had these like heavy trays that we would have to pull through the nursing home, get off the elevator.
Oh,
we didn't have to serve them.
Wheel them out.
Yeah, we had to. They was heavy though,
Yeah.
even though it was on wheels. But they was these big metal trays. But yeah, I grinded out. I think probably a year. I think in between that too, I worked 2 jobs. I had this infatuation with being a cashier. I do not know why.
I was a cashier one time. It's not a bad gig.
It's not a bad gig. It's not. I actually helped open up Walmart over here.
Okay.
So I was a cashier and I was a dietary aide at the same time.
Cool. I worked at Mark's over in Maslin off Wales. Is that off Amherst?
Okay.
Right there when you get to Maslin. That was my first cashier job. I didn't mind it, as you'll know. I'm not like off camera. I'm not like the most social person, but it forces you to like speak to people and like have interaction with people every day. So I kind of liked it. And like here, when you're a cashier, the time goes super fast.
Yep.
You're just like bam, 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 because you're just nonstop. So I really liked that about it. It was nice. I enjoyed that.
Cool.
What about your time after the nursing home gig? Did you have what kind of careers did we have in between that time, and then we'll lead into DeliverThat from there?
So after being a dietary, I actually went to become an STNA, which is a state tested nurse. So
okay.
I got licensed to do that and started working in nursing homes and hospitals and in other people's homes, taking care of them. So I took care of every age general besides kids. I couldn't do kids because I'm so emotionally attached. So I took care of everyone.
Nice. Just hospitality, ride or die.
Hospitality. I did that for a decade.
Okay.
Before I went into insurance for 2.5 years.
Right.
Yep. And then it led me here to DeliverThat. I had no experience dispatching, nothing. It just led me here.
Yeah. Well, don't get too far ahead of me here, because you have like one of the all-time how did she get to DeliverThat stories. Obviously, Darian, Christian, myself, a ton of other people started as drivers. that's what you tried to start Deliver That as being. You wanted to be a driver. You anticipated being a driver.
Right.
But just for everyone at home or viewing, listening, whatever, let everyone know how you got into Deliver That.
I seen an ad in the newspaper. I shouldn't say newspaper. That's so old. I think it was Indeed. I seen an ad in Indeed, and it said $25 per delivery. And at the time, I was doing deliveries.
Okay.
I so happened got into this gig economy. I love the flexibility, but I needed more pay. I was on $7, and I was delivering groceries and shopping.
Just ain't
for
cutting
them.
it.
It ain't cutting it at all. Not to help raise a family.
For sure.
It's not just me. And so I seen it. I applied for it. Still not thinking anything. I'm going to be a driver. They called me for an interview. I'm in the interview, and they're asking, it's not your normal interview. Let's just start there. They're just getting to know me as far as like meet the team. They was getting to know Sade. And they asked little questions here and there, but I didn't feel like I was in an interview. I felt real comfortable. That's probably why it didn't dawn on me. I'm really not sitting here to be a driver. And then it was Mitch and Christian, and Mitch was like, telling me about the job and description. And then Mitch was like, well, how do you feel about that? And that's when I was like, oh, well, I really came in here to be a driver, but if this works, like, it sounds really good. I can do this too. And
Right.
I didn't think they was going to hire me after I said that, but they phone called me, and I'm here 2 years later, March 1st. It'd be my second year.
Yeah, right. You're coming up on the anniversary at the beginning of March. It'll be 2 years you've been with the company. And that, like you said, you applied to be what you thought was a driver. You came in to be a dispatcher, kind of work with our logistics team.
Yep.
And basically, like, kind of got the rug pulled out on you. You're like, oh man. But it's kind of unreal to me though that you like continued with the interview and even the onboarding process after that. Like most people, I feel like would be like, oh, well, I don't want that much like entitlement or like I don't know, possibilities. And like if I just want to be a driver, all I want to do is drive. And then you kind of took it by the reins, and now you're here. Like you said, 2 years later.
Well, they kind of helped me out because I only came in part-time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
I didn't think about that.
A lot of people don't, well, now they know, but I bake on the side. So I still was like, well, no, I'm only going to do this part-time. And then it just like led up to being a full-time thing. And then it just led me to being in the department that I am now. So it's kind of like you guys work with me. And I think y'all work with everybody in here. And I said this to Dan too. Like, y'all don't never make me feel like I have to put my family before work. For sure. And that's what I love about Deliver That. I don't have to choose.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we try to accommodate a ton of people. I mean, we just had like Lissa. She's been part-time. I think her 2-year anniversary is in.
Just passed.
Did it just pass? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We just put her in the anniversary block. So I think, we beg her to come on full time. And she's like, no, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, part-time. We're like, all right, if that's all we can get you for, then we'll take what we can get.
Yep.
Right? And you just kind of got to roll with the punches. But you did kind of mention there like the new position you are within the company, right? So we can kind of walk our way through your time with Deliver That. You came on as a dispatcher. At the time, it's like a quasi CSR position too. We didn't have the departments divided at the time. It was still just dispatches taking the calls, answering the texts. Now we have a CSR team doing that separately from our routing and everything like that. And then you kind of basically made your own path, right? You kind of formulated some other things you wanted to do, some things you thought could be done better, I'd probably say is what you really saw. And that was outreach to the drivers, right? And kind of making sure their time on the platform was being spent well and they were actually enjoying it. So what was the catalyst for that? And then what were you going about your days doing to make sure that was happening?
So I still was in dispatch more so in the morning up until about noon or so. And then I'll go lead into driver relations.
Yeah, with driver relations. Right.
We just came up one day like, well, we just want to know what the drivers feel like, we want to hear from them. So we came up with this, let's do outreach. Let's see what our drivers who haven't been here long, how do they feel? What do they need to be educated on? I feel like when you educate someone, it just helps their experience go a long way, or somebody just want to be heard, not through a text message. If they have
like a misunderstanding that can easily be talked out like very quickly and make them a much better process. Yep.
I just wanted them to feel like they was not a number, they was more than a number. So outreach became a thing for us. With driver experience, we actually went on the road last year.
Yeah.
That was much fun.
That was wild.
Just interacting with the drivers, that's big to me. Without the drivers, we don't even be here.
For sure.
We don't have nothing to do without them. So
facts.
We have to treat them like a human. And that's my biggest thing. I'm so driver focused, it's not even funny. And I didn't know how much driver focused I was until we went on the road last year. That's to be honest.
Yeah. The trip to Florida, we did Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Orlando, Tampa in like a 4-day span. It was like a freaking race to the finish line. It felt like it was wild. But like you said, it was so much fun. Yeah. And just getting out, like meeting the drivers and face to face, like having conversations, stories, having like the little sit downs we did with them. It was such a good time getting to like do the Q&As in person like we do on the newsletter and stuff. But having it face to face is always a good time.
Yeah, that was my best part, just hearing their pain points and being able to come back to the table and be like, hey, this is the pain points, and actually having the solutions and putting those solutions into place. You can't beat it.
Yeah, for sure. Jim, watch that tape. That tape, just watch it.
We can hear it. That was all we was doing it over again.
You're good. I'm just letting you know. I'll be done. Yeah, you're fine. So and then obviously, like you said, so you went from dispatch we're doing part-time dispatch, part-time driver relations, and then now you're more or less in driver relations, I would say, but your title is driver engagement specialist, right? So
Correct.
Are you still doing what you start out doing and just reaching out to drivers and checking in on their time on the platform, or what else are you doing in your day-to-day?
So I do reach out to drivers, checking on drivers to see what they're doing on the platform, but I also review their feedback that I do receive from EasyCater. Review their feedback. I always call the drivers. I never lead into this is what was said about you. I want to know about your experience. Right. I want to know about your experience on this particular delivery. That's just what I want to know for sure. Because if you had any issues, we want to be able to address those and actually send that same feedback to EasyCater as well, or any partner that we have
for sure
as well. With that, I lead we have a top tier team called the Elite Driver Tier. It is an invite-only tier. I am managing those group of drivers. So there are special drivers of Elite that we have here, providing them with benefits all the way around. I'm actually on the loyalty and benefit committee that we do have. Along with another couple of team members, we are providing all of our drivers on fleet with loyalty perks, perks and points program that we are starting, and then we also starting benefits that we're going to be giving to all the drivers on the fleet.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing, obviously. And then as of late, like we kind of mentioned at the beginning, you've been getting into the video production side with me a little bit, which has been super cool. Obviously, Nate was kind of our guy knocking out these driver spotlights, calling the drivers, having, almost like hour-long conversations with them sometime, typing all that up. And I don't necessarily know if it was like you that brought up the idea or how we really got to the point we're at now. I genuinely can't think of how it happened, but I think we just kind of like naturally moved towards video format for everything. And since you were driver engagement, maybe we just chose you to do the driver spotlight portion of those videos. What's your time? I mean, I think we just did 2 in the last week, so now we're at 4 total.
We did 4,
Jerome, Natalie, AFAM, and Kieran all will be releasing in the month of February. I think this will be releasing sometime in like the first couple weeks of March. So those have all come out since this interview has been done. So everyone will get the chance to see them and see the great work you've been doing. But again, obviously you mentioned you love just talking to the drivers face to face and getting that time with them. Is there anything else you enjoy about the process, or just getting time to sit down with them?
I'm always thinking of a different way that we can engage with our drivers. Honestly, remember we had the DT Live State of Review.
Yeah.
And then we sat down and we just start dialoguing how we felt about it, and it actually rolled into us being able to do a live newsletter. Then we was like, well, what we gonna put in the newsletter? Then we was like, well, this is already what's on it. We was like, well, let's make this video style. Our
maybe
blog is really not getting that much
started
traction.
Right.
So what gets the traction? Videos. Everybody loves videos. TikTok,
just
Instagram.
Easier to consume.
Yep, easier to consume. And then plus, these talents that these drivers have outside of being a driver, sometimes they need to be heard and not just written and read.
Yeah.
I mean, something
especially
you can
a couple
read.
of ones we've had so far.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it became, and it's so crazy. Now we doing a chili cook-off next
Tuesday.
next Thursday.
Thursday.
So yeah, a lot of y'all already know after the fact, but I just got 3 drivers to be our judges from NEO. So they're going to be judging us department to department. So another way to engage with the drivers. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's actually a super good idea. That's crazy. I'll be pumped to see them come in office. You mentioned a little bit earlier, kind of as we were talking about the job history, I think. your baking business, the bakery, I want to make sure we don't overlook that. Sweet Sadie's Desserts, is that
Correct.
what it's called? Sweet Sadie's Desserts. In my eyes, I didn't come to know about it until you started like bringing the cookies around, right? Like the main thing was like the golf outing. Maybe last year or 2 years, maybe 2 years ago.
It's
was
two. Yep.
So it was 2 years ago the first time I think I really had one of the cookies, and I was like, dang, these are different. Like, these are crazy. So like you're saying about the drivers, some of us, do other things outside of what everyone knows us for. So, I see you from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. here, but once you leave here, you're doing this bakery business, you got kids, all that stuff. How did the baking start? When did it start? How do you get into something like that?
Well, before I begin that, I want to tell a fun fact that I actually was told from Dan here. Me putting that I had a business on my resume almost got me not to have this job at DeliverThat.
Because what, he thought you wouldn't spend as much time here?
Yep. He was like, I still don't know how you do it, but I was like, she's not going to work out, y'all.
Thank God Dan's not doing the hiring.
He was like, so you proved me wrong. I was like, wow. Okay.
Unbelievable.
So I really started, established my business in 2015. The reason I established it, I wanted to be able to have flexibility with my kids and be a mom first. Like I said, a lot of jobs I had before this did not offer that time for me. So I kind of started off with doing like candy apples and stuff and making them all fancy. So my whole thing was making food look pretty. That's what desserts make desserts look pretty.
Right.
Fast forward to 2020, when 2020 really hit, it dawned on me, because I really wasn't active in my business, that, regardless of what's to happen, either I'm going to be a business owner and run my business, or I could still work. It was kind of one of those things, like I might have put it on the back burner, but I always thought about it.
Yeah, you didn't have to
didn't
do
go
one or
nowhere.
the other. You could actually do both.
Right. So 2021, I got into touch with some great business coaches.
Okay.
And they told me that I need to
mentors.
find a niche. Right. I needed to find a niche. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love what I'm doing now. Why people just won't come? Like, it's great work. So I found that we had no cookie lady here. We had no cheesecake. Closest cheesecake place was 45 minutes away, which was the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, man.
So I began to work on recipes for those two things to perfect them. And those were my niches. Started in 2021 of May. I started doing 6-ounce over-the-top cookies packed with flavor, and then I'll do gourmet cheesecakes.
There's literally no way those things only weigh 6 ounces.
Yep. I weigh up every one of them each.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're packed with flavor, packed with chocolate chips, marshmallow, peanut butter, caramel, pecans, whatever you want. She's gonna make it, folks. It's honestly unbelievable.
Seasonal flavors.
And then you're also doing like cakes for people's birthdays in the office, right? Which is
Cake day is Thursday.
Yeah. So you're always cooking stuff up, bringing stuff in for people to try. I know, obviously, no one's gonna turn down sweets usually unless they got. I don't know. Dan's a diabetic, so maybe he needs them sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't. I don't really know how that works, but whatever. Either way, I'm happy you were taking the time to talk about your bakery business with the Sweet Sadie's Desserts. Where can they check it out? Online, Instagram?
I have a website, sweetsadiesdesserts.com. You can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, Sweet Sadie's Desserts.
Cool. TikTok. You're up with the kids.
I have my kids monitoring it.
Oh, no.
I don't know nothing about it.
That's hilarious. That's actually so funny.
And I'm not that old, so.
Unbelievable. Okay, cool. Well, so we kind of got through the Meet the Team segment. I want to close it out like we have with everyone else. We're going to do the final segment, this or that.
Okay.
All I need you to do is give me one or the other. I'll ask you maybe to elaborate depending on what the answer are, and we'll just breeze right through these, all right? So we're going to start out here. Early mornings, late nights.
Early mornings. I'm tired by 7:00 p.m.
How early are the mornings?
It can get as early as 4. Just wake up, no alarm. It's just better for me.
No alarm.
No alarm.
Like not the kids jostling you awake. You're just like 4 a.m. You're just like eyes open.
Eyes open. I'm enjoying myself. If I'm scrolling, I might be scrolling. I might get up and bake. It just depends.
We are not the same. We are not the same. All right. Hot or cold?
I prefer to be hot. Y'all know I have a heating pad at my desk. I'm always cold.
Yeah, the foot pad. I always forget about that. I always forget about that. I'm the same way, though. I can't stand this office over the past month has been freaking freezing. And I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Moving right along, dogs or cats?
I'm afraid of cats, dogs.
Afraid of cats. Like, can't be around them, can't see them. Black cats or all cats?
No, all cats. So when I would go in someone's home that had cats, it was just unbearable to try to take care of them because I'm just watching a cat. They sneaky.
Oh, like when you're taking care of people. Okay.
I just can't do cats, all cats.
What kind of dog do you have? Does your family have a dog?
Only reason why I don't have a dog is because I have my baker's license at home.
So you can't.
So you can't have a pet in Ohio in your home. But if I could, it would be a pit bull.
Not a little rescue action, I imagine, then, or?
No, nothing. What you mean?
Like, would you rescue the pit? I imagine.
Oh.
Like, usually they're a rescue dog.
Any type of, it don't matter.
Okay.
I just love pit bulls.
All right. Uh-oh, my phone closed down. What do we got? Couple more. Next one is books or movies.
I like reading, but I think I have watched more movies than read a book.
What's the latest movie or favorite movie? Maybe both.
The latest movie?
Yeah, come on. You're not on Netflix all the time? Hulu, HBO?
It's my memory. I could tell you the latest documentary I watched was Uncle Tom, Part 1 and Part 2.
What's that on?
It's not on anything. You have to go to Uncle
YouTube?
Tom. You have to. The old one, the Part 1 is on YouTube,
Okay.
but that's the release of it. You have to go to their actual website.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they're direct to consumer, some would say.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Okay. All right. I appreciate you sharing that with us, and we will give you this last one before we let you get out of here. This one, I think, based on the baking, we might know the answer already, but I don't know. You could surprise us. Staying in or going out to eat?
Staying in. You never know what you get when you go out. It could be a hit or a miss.
I mean, if we're trying new places every time, but we're in Belden Village. You've probably had everything a million times.
A go-to place, though? I don't have a go-to place. I got to go there every time.
Jim goes to El Rincon every freaking week. I go to Chipotle 6 times a week. You don't got one of those? What about, all right, then what is your favorite meal to cook for you, and then also your kids, what do they like?
I can tell you what I can eat nonstop. I can eat fish and fries.
Fish and fries.
Well, no, and they don't have to be together, but every day I can eat fish and fries.
Are you a tartar sauce or ketchup? Or
Neither.
both?
Neither. I don't have to have none. The greatest, I had this baked fish, and I don't know the name of it. I have to go back up to the meat store in Akron. It was so good because I want to try something different than trout and salmon. Yeah, but the best, I say fried fish is perch and catfish.
Okay, a little cod, anything
I
like
like
that?
cod.
Okay.
I do like cod, yep.
All right, what about the kids? What are you cooking up for them at home?
My son is a burger, his go-to is always burgers. My daughter, she has this bougie taste buds. Her dad is a chef, so it don't even matter.
She's getting it on one side of the family. She wants it from both.
Yeah, so she's not really a sweet person, so I don't even have. I gotta learn.
You just can't even impress her.
I can't. No, so she impresses herself. She'll make her chicken, fry it good, make her little different sauces and stuff. So
no way.
Yeah, she's a chicken head. So that's a chicken head, but she loves chicken. My son is a burger person.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
and plain burger. Don't put nothing on it.
That's pretty easy to please, though. It's easy to cook up burger, cook up some chicken. At least nothing crazy.
No, nothing crazy.
All right. Well. I appreciate your time here, Sade.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Everyone will be seeing you very soon. I appreciate you helping me out over here on the video production side of things too. So we'll be seeing you very soon, and hopefully the people enjoy getting to know you just like I did. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. See you guys.